digital marketing for the rest of us.
Good morning, everybody. This is Blas Giffuni and Mauricio Cadena. We're here to present to you the gene in us. I'm Blas Giffuni. I'm a digital marketing with over 10 years of experience, mostly talking about SEO and digital and content strategy. And I'm joined here by my good friend, longtime friend, Mauricio.
Morning, my name is Mauricio. Sorry for my English. It's from England. Can you say?
Cadena.
Yeah, I'm a specialist in digital content and television content. So basically, welcome to our show, The Gene in Us.
Perfect. So, what the topic for today is basically content strategy. It's an introduction to content strategy. What we're looking for is to make sure that some of these concepts that are used by companies, great companies all over the world, are actually easier to understand for business owners, business managers, and everyone that is actually trying to improve and increase their sales, which probably it's most of us. So, Mauricio, do you think that every piece of content that you see online actually it's intended for you to see, or it's just about...
I have a question for you.
Sure.
First question. What it means in simple words is a content strategy for the digital? What it means is...
Sure. So basically, the content strategy is every piece of information that a user, or basically someone that is going to be interacting with your brand, it's going to be seeing. So let's say that it can go from a simple social media post, or it could go to a nurturing email. It could be a blog post. Every little piece of content that a consumer will see with your brand, it's part of the content strategy. Each piece of content, it's been designed to appear at the right time, and they actually fulfill a purpose in your journey with the brand. So basically, it builds your customer experience.
Okay, you said something important here, and it's a journey. It's like movies, because I experience in movies and television, and you have experience in digital content and marketing, basically. So our show is to put together the two knowledge for explain what's going on here. So when you say journey, is step by step to going for selling things or for branding? What is the goal for these steps?
So again, when you think about, and probably you know this better than I do, when you're actually talking about story, what's the brand story, or what is the type of how do you want the visitor or your user, your consumer, to interact with your website? What type of quote-unquote story you want to tell them? So how do they know that are they aware that they need your product or service?
Mm-hmm.
If they do, how is your product or service helping them to actually feel their problems or solve their problems? Then they, if they like you, if you're able to tell a good story, probably they're going to interact with you. They're going to be purchasing from you, or probably they're going to be submitting a form with you. They're going to be converting, that's the technical term, into some type of action. So it could be, now I like you, I'm going to follow you. Now I like you, I'm going to buy from you. But basically, it's every single step that you take them and hold it by the hand until they do exactly what you want them to do. Most companies prefer a financial outcome. Some other ones, they want ratings. But basically, it's a journey to a step where you want them to take them.
Okay. You have a vision.
Yes,
in your webpage. It's a Blas vision of the journey. So explain a little bit what is the vision that you have step by step.
Sure. A lot of my background goes into B2B, so business to business. However, business to consumer
means is communication directly with the company or sale. What it means?
It's basically a company doing business with a company.
Okay.
versus B2C, which is a company doing business with a consumer. So a lot of consumer product goods and things like that are considered business to consumer.
Okay. So different channels of different explanation the sales.
The actors,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, basically my vision of the journey, it goes from before they actually know that your product exists, and probably before they even know that they have a problem and that your product actually solved them that problem, all the way to purchasing, and also to make sure that they're happy with what they purchased or the decision they made.
Okay.
So I divided that in kind of different chapters. The first one being awareness, kind of a section called awareness, and that's what I was talking about. Do they even know that they have a problem first? If don't, that's where you can be creative and say, like, this type of person, I know that they're going to have this problem and I have a way to solve it. However, I don't want to tell them immediately how the end of the movie is how the movie is going to end, but I just want to lay the breadcrumbs so they start taking all the information.
But you never know how the the end is depends. Because sometimes in the movies or in the television, like a Game of Thrones, you never know what's going on. You think what's going on because the history, but for sure, it's the twist in the end. Sometimes.
Well, that's
is the same.
It's a little bit. Digital? It's a little bit different. So, let's say that in our case, the purchase or the action, the conversion, is in the middle of the journey. So I think that there are two major sections of that journey. The first one is when you're actually buying.
Okay.
The second one is when you're actually a customer. So that is kind of one of the main places where actually the whole story changes and shifts. So consider how you buy products. Let's say that, what type of camera do you have?
Oh, different camera.
Okay.
Yeah, I say Canon. Okay. The regular Canon, the T200. It's a good Canon for digital branding. It's good.
Okay.
I got that.
So, but you actually started to look at it because you needed to make videos, take pictures.
Yeah, I'm looking for a camera specific for digital content. So those camera is really easy, for the settings. So for the setup, the camera is really easy. So this is why I buy that.
Got it. So basically, you started with an awareness problem.
Yeah.
Basically, you know that you had a problem. Then you move to intent, which is, yes, I need to buy a camera.
Sorry, interrupt you. I intend buy the Black Magic, the small one.
Okay.
But it's too expensive, for my decision. I put money on the table for take the decision. You know what I mean? So
actually you jump in from intent to decision, which is, okay, I want to buy a camera. Now I think I narrow this down between the camera and the Black Magic. Then you move to the next stage, which is selection. Now let me ask you a question. What type of content did you see for Canon versus Black Magic? And that actually take the decision of going with Canon.
For a small one like a Canon, is no complicated camera, right? Mm-hmm. The Black Magic is more for cinematic camera.
Yep.
This is the big difference. If you go on the street and do it short films or something like a filmmaking, you need the Black Magic because this is the difference. And I understand what you say when you try. Yeah, but the Canon is simple. So it's and you can take pictures with the Canon. And not with the Black Magic. Black Magic is only for filming. So I think we have to take a little break right now.
Let me finish right.
Okay, finish. Yeah, you can finish. You can finish.
The important thing, thanks. The important part is that if you take a look at it throughout the buyer's journey of your case with the two cameras, you actually became an expert. And you're an expert, but It helped you to make a decision because you became an expert. So all of that is basically you follow a journey from not knowing too much or basically having an idea that you need to have a product that solves your problem, all the way to become an expert.
Oh, this is interesting point. And I'll be right back with that point, the expert point. I like that. I'm no expert in the cameras, an expert in histories, but I'll be right back with the shortcut, okay?
Sure.
Don't leave us.
I won't.
Tip of the day. Marketo, the digital marketing platform, says that approximately 96% of website visitors aren't ready to buy. Make sure to provide good quality content so your visitors are willing to give you their name and email address.
Okay, I'm back. So, the expert thing.
Yeah.
Okay. What part the expert thing in your vision is a step?
It's not a step.
Okay.
It's part of it. It's been a goal. Remember, you made a decision to buy a camera because you need it. But let's say that you're buying equipment for a whole studio,
Okay.
and you may not be the expert on audio equipment.
What happens if somebody is no expert? If somebody don't have a preview experience for anything, for filmmaking or television, is some regular person that want to start the YouTube channel for say anything, because in you have the content for the YouTube is really different content. What happens for those person is no expert? It's what is his journey for
So,
take a decision?
Great question. So that's the idea of why you want to have a content strategy. It's not to try to lure the major filmmakers out there. I mean, George Lucas already know what type of equipment he uses.
For sure, I think.
But basically, let's say that I don't know much about video or things like that,
Yeah.
production. And I do want to do like video recording and things like that for my own personal brand, whatever that is. But I need to know first what options I have. Something really important that you mentioned is what type of use I'm going to have for that camera or that equipment. And the idea of the content strategy is to actually be able to tell you and help you find those pieces of information to help you make that decision, becoming that expert.
How you can connect the content strategy to video? How connect that thing? Because the video thing is different than the marketing thing, right?
Well, one thing is content, the other one is distribution.
Content is a means history, right? It's a means what's going on. It's
When I mean content, it's every piece of information, any piece of communication that your buyer or your user is going to get from you.
basically it's information.
Yes. How do you distribute and in what format? That's part of the challenge. So, in the case of the person trying to start their own YouTube channel or journey with personal video, what type of probably they're going to be looking for videos. They're going to be looking for recommendations. They're going to be looking for people who already do that in
Reviews, basically,
Exactly.
right?
Some of them could be videos. Some of them could be blog posts. If you need information on something, what do you do?
Okay.
What's your first step?
Okay.
No, I'm asking
You asked me what do I do? Oh, I do digital content, for example.
Yes, but
I do videos. I do.
no, I understand. But if you're trying to find an answer to any type of question, what do you do? Let's say that if I'm asking you, what is the best if I need to find out what is the best video editing program.
Okay. This is more specific question.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my case, I'll be either asking you because I know you, but if I don't know you, probably I'm gonna be asking Google. I may be asking YouTube. So in reality, the distribution of all that content needs to be considered as far as what type of channels the buyer is going to be using.
I have for a long time a big question about the digital, because everything now is a digital, everything. How change the digital thing the reality for the marketing or for the businesses? Why the business need go to digital? Why they need the web page? Why they need there's somebody looking for them? Why is so important right now?
Okay.
I know it's a huge information that you have, but I have it's a big story. Why is so important for your experience?
Okay, so first of all, I think that I am not wrong by saying that today we're the most connected that we've ever been. And that means that we already have phones that very few people use as phones.
It's an open market, right? Because everybody can go to Amazon or whatever in the cell phone and buy whatever they need, right?
Now, the other thing is users want to have information that is quick, it's instant, and it's reliable.
What it means reliable?
Reliable? Okay, so again, if
you have a technical words, I like that.
It's not reliable. It's not really a technical word.
It's professional. He's experienced guy. Really, he's the best in the market. So,
let's say that if I'm looking for an answer,
answer for buying something or in general.
An answer in general.
Okay.
And I find information from a brand, and I follow the advice.
I mean, it's review, right?
No, an advice. Let's say that if I say, again, I'm trying to cook something interesting.
Okay.
And I found this recipe.
Okay.
And I decide to follow an instruction of a website that actually gave me recipes, I don't know, from Fruit Network or whatever that is. But we ended up having a really nasty meal.
Okay.
Do you think I'm going to be going back again?
No.
And trust them? No. That's what I'm talking about. It needs to be reliable. Something that I can say, if they're saying this, is because this is right.
Okay.
So you need to build trust.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Build trust. Okay. In your vision, in the Blas vision, so the content strategy. The content is the king, right?
So content is king, yes. And that's been an old saying. Context, I think it's even more important.
Okay.
Because, and let me explain that a little bit. There was a moment where a lot of companies, brands, they were just putting content out there. Someone is going to find it. However, if as a user, if there is no context, I will not be able to give any sort of value to the content.
Okay.
So again, going back to the content strategy, every piece of information that you put out there, it should have its purpose.
How the company know what is the right or bad content? How can follow?
Okay.
The you know what I mean? How they follow if the strategy is good or not? Because in digital, for example, in television, you have ratings, and ratings tell you if the show is really good or not, because you have audience and you have millions and you have points for ratings. How works this thing in a digital in the web page?
So one of the main differences between small businesses and more construct businesses and global businesses is they actually pay attention to analytics.
Interesting. Like Google Analytics?
A lot of companies that I consult with, small businesses, they don't even know how many visits go to their website. You have a website. Do you know how many visits you have?
No. No, really?
There you go. So if you don't even know how many visits your website gets, it's going to be really difficult for you to understand what type of content.
How many visitors you have in your page?
I won't tell you because that's a secret, but I can show it to you.
No, come on, it's not secret. Okay, you have a lot. I think you have a lot of people looking for you, for sure.
But so to give you an idea, there, once you know how many visitors are getting to your website, where are they coming from? There are a lot of different ways how you can attribute what's been useful and what's not been useful. So let's say that you created a video or a blog post. Let's try with a blog post that talks about, I don't know, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones or television in general?
No, let's say Game of Thrones.
Okay.
There are two things going to happen. One, you're going to have seasonality. Probably 2 weeks ago, it will be up to the roof. Right now, maybe not that much. And let's say that if the user is trying to find out what's going to happen at the end of Game of Thrones, and you don't say much at the beginning of the article, most likely they're going to read the first section, they're going to say like, I don't like it too much, and they go out. So they visit to your website, the content wasn't engaging, they bounced. That's really a term, a technical term is bounce, which is came to your website, they don't like it, I'm out.
You have steps in your Blas vision journey. What for you? You have awareness, intent, decision, selection, proof of value, education. What the education is important?
Let me go to one step back. So remember that I told you that the purchase or the conversion is kind of it's probably one of it's the step in the middle that changes everything. So let's go back to the example of the camera. When you bought the camera, didn't you get a little remorse of saying, I spent this much in this camera, I don't know if that's the one that I needed?
Oh, okay.
So that's what I call proof of value, saying like, now that you have a new customer, that doesn't mean that your job is done as a marketer.
Okay.
That means that now you need to show that your product is what you sold, and B, take that opportunity to make that customer now an evangelist, someone that I can actually can share and say like, man, I bought this camera, I love it, and if someone asks me, I'll be able to actually recommend it.
Oh my God. Okay, I have to go to commercial break again.
Okay.
Sorry about it.
We'll talk about education and curiosity later.
Yeah, this is the two last steps. So going to commercial break for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Is it good? Okay.
In Us, the space where two beautiful masterminds provide actionable information to businesses. Join Uni Latina Radio USA every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Okay, I'm back for the Blas vision strategy for digital content, basically. And again, my name is Mauricio Cadena. He's Blas Giffuni, and this is the Gene in Us, the show about the digital content and digital strategy, basically, and stories and television.
At least this episode.
Yeah, the first one. Okay, so you have education and curiosity for the two last steps. Okay, what's happened next?
Okay, so let's say that you were able to convince that person who actually purchased your product or used your service, it's happy, and now they don't have any type of remorse, kind of buyer's remorse. Next step is to show them, to keep educating them on how useful and how much they can use your product, how can maximize the return of the investment of your product. So in the weird case that you actually purchased the camera, the Canon, and you had no idea how to take pictures, well, that will be one of my first pieces of content, like, did you know?
Okay.
You can take pictures. Actually, Apple did something really cool. There was like how to take really amazing pictures with an iPhone and doing just regular simple effects using everyday items like bowls of water and things like that, as a way to say like you can also be an artist with your iPhone. That doesn't mean that the iPhone is the only one to do it. That means that Apple was the first one to tell
They say that?
Exactly. That actually adds an intrinsic value to the purchase.
Yeah, I don't know how the market changed. You remember your first your first telephone is a Nokia something, all the 80s,
5160.
yeah, something like
still
that.
runs, still have a battery.
It's no camera, okay, no everything like that. But when the ghost changed for the new telephones, smartphones, thank you. The iPhone is not the best camera in the market, right?
No.
But what happened? Why the people think the best camera is the iPhone? I don't know. Right now, maybe bad. Back in the 10 years, maybe 8 years. I remember the Nokia has a good camera, better than the iPhone 3 or iPhone 4. I don't remember what is the first one, but what happened? Why do people think iPhone is in the camera top when it's not?
Well, you have to first. You're talking to one of the most valuable companies of the world, probably one of the best, if not the best, marketers of the world.
What is the strategy for?
They
iPhone?
build a cult.
Oh,
Funny enough, I'm one of the few that actually uses an Apple computer, but get a Samsung phone. Because my cult is with Google, and I use everything Google. To where I like Apple, the computer, because of all the technical reasons, and it looks really good. But I use everything Google.
Okay.
In the case of Apple, what they did, they actually the iPhone was part of a whole strategy of digitalization of everything, digitalization of media through iTunes, digitalization of the connectivity. Plus is cool. It was the first smartphone to the point that actually Google had to delay the release of their Google phone a year because they didn't know what Apple was coming up with. Once they actually took a look at what Apple did with the first iPhone, they said like, nope. Stop the process. We need to go back to the drawing board.
This part of the curiosity, maybe?
The curiosity, it's that's the stage where you actually see like, okay, I'm good with it. Is the life of the product done? Do I need to buy something better?
It's like a question
on a business setting.
You asking things.
No, as a person or a business setting is, what are we missing by staying with the same product or by the same vendor or by the same service?
This is the point, the view for the person, the buyer.
Yeah.
What's going on? The another point of view for the company.
What the company needs to do is to keep educating, understand what are the signals that the buyer or their customer has and is looking to solve, and find ways to either support or find ways to communicate with them that now we understand that you have a problem that we need to solve, or if we need to improve our products, help us help you. So basically that comes from content strategy to passes from content strategy to customer experience.
Why your vision is so important for the companies? For example, if the people think, some regular person think about I'm gonna put in the restaurant and Mexican food. Why is important the Blas vision for that company? Because I think your vision is a general vision for your experience. So it's a good, because it's step by step. Remember, you can go the Giffuni.com and you can see the information.
BlasGiffuni.com/content-strategy.
Yeah, he is a technical guy. Okay, but
so your question is, why is this important for a small business owner.
Another question: does vision is work for a big one's company and for a small one, right? For entrepreneur person,
Yeah, I mean,
it's the same.
the content strategy, it's a concept.
It's a concept.
You build, this is my vision, this may help, this may be a different, someone may have a different version. But in reality, what you're trying to do is to take the buyer or the consumer from one side to another, make it, help them make a conversion, and after it, retain the buyer as a customer, and probably keep selling more or upsell, cross-sell. Basically, that's kind of the combination between marketing and sales and customer experience. So in your case of the restaurant, if you want to open a restaurant, most people will tell you, you need to open an Instagram account, you need to open a Facebook account, you have your own website. You have to do a lot of different channels. Now you need to advertise, you need to put in magazines and things like that. All of that may be true, but what are you going to be putting in there?
Yeah.
How do you know what is working, what is not? Most likely, the first stage of your vision, of the journey, it's going to be bad. That's fine.
The social media has they have their own language, their own their own communication, and the owners or the people for a company have to understand what putting in those social media, right?
So something that I've noticed is there is a company that I care a lot. I helped them since the beginning, and I started to see that the manager of their social media strategy, they're just uploading pictures. Now, as a business owner, how do you know that that's actually generating any value for in their case for their customers? Their question was, well, it's branding. Really? How many brands do you see a day? Millions. So what's telling you that just because I saw an image, I'm going to remember your brand?
You have analytics like a Google Analytics for a web
Google
page.
Analytics is free, so if you have a website, make sure you install Analytics. You're going to learn a lot.
What happened for the social media, for Instagram? You have the same tool?
Most of the tools, they already have Analytics inside. So let's say if you go to Twitter, you can actually click on the number of posts, and now it will tell you
what's going on,
who's following you, your audience, and things like that. So a lot of the platforms already know, even for websites done in WordPress, there's a lot of plugins to inject analytics and things like that. Don't fly solo. I mean, if you have a business, you need to know the numbers. You need to know your data.
The numbers, information.
Information, yes. So, this is not only for marketing, this is also for sales. So when you think about it
Yeah, but in sales it's different because you have the money come out and money come in, and you get, you have a person, they give you the numbers.
That's a narrow vision.
Okay.
So you should be able, by using data, you should be able to tell me how much do you plan to sell in a specific time frame.
Okay.
You need to know what is your your conversion rate, meaning how many people are interested in your product versus how many people actually buy your product.
Okay.
Basically, having the access to the numbers will allow you to forecast and be able to drive a better business. That's one of the major problems that I've seen with the small businesses and even medium businesses. They have a great idea, probably because the idea is great. They don't pay too much attention about how their strategy can change.
How delivery
And the results. Again, it's all about, let's say that if you have 100 people asking you for video and only one person converts, there is something going on with your approach to sales. I don't know if it's the content. I don't know if it's the price. There's something that you need to adjust.
Okay.
To make sure that out of those, out of 100, not only one buys, but actually 10. Can you imagine that?
What happens is if the company don't have too much? It's expensive. Do that. It's expensive. Follow. Yeah, it's expensive for your face.
Well,
it depends, right?
It depends. Personally, I use HubSpot for sales tracking.
Okay, it's you have to pay something.
Yeah, of course.
Annually, you pay
monthly. In my case,
monthly.
I pay monthly.
Okay, but it's good. It's a good tool.
What I like is that it's a CRM account. A CRM pretty much is a database of every single contact that you have and all the information that you have shared with them.
Okay.
And you're able to connect that with your sales numbers. Now, the reason why I use HubSpot is because it also allows you to connect marketing with sales and the CRM.
When you have your vision, Blas, when you have the vision, when is born your vision for the journey?
For this again, once you start paying attention to your product, to your service, how do you want your product and service being delivered? What do you as a business owner want people? How do you as a business owner, how do you want people to perceive your business? That's when you start looking at it. I think that this should be at least part of the business strategy.
Okay, this is
at least high level of the journey should be part of the business strategy.
Okay, the
business plan. Yeah.
Oh, the business plan. This is for another show. Yep. The business plan. Absolutely. Because it's expensive. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna go to the break game. You think, or gonna finish?
Let me see if I don't mess this thing up.
Okay, no, you can do it next time. I have to do that. So yeah, guys. I'm gonna break and conclusion for the show. Thank you. Don't leave, please.
Is sponsored by Unilatina International College and Blue Advertising. Creativity beyond emotions and logic.
Ya vamos a hacer conclusiones, nos fuimos un poquito de tiempo, pero está chévere. Okay, I'm back.
I didn't mute our microphones. Now you know that we speak Spanish in the middle, so.
Okay, so this is the conclusion for the show. Thanks for hanging out. So it's a really pleasure to talk to you, Blas, about the digital. So okay, what is the conclusion for that? What is the message that they say? Yeah. What is the important thing?
Okay, so two things. As a business owner, make sure that you have, or at least consider, a content strategy. How do you want to tell your story? How do you want people to understand what you do and how you do it? As a consumer, understand that every single piece of information that you see out there, it's designed so you can actually read it at the right time. Sometimes. So
there's a huge information.
That's a problem. There's a lot of information flying around. There's a lot of information in companies putting their really good content strategies that it becomes really competitive to try to get information out.
I don't think you need the huge company for do that, right?
No.
Only you. Only you for making videos. So it's a right team for a company, right?
One of the things that I like, and it's about agile processes. And the difference is instead of waiting to have the right product, the right everything to actually go to production, it's get an increment of value every time that you do something. So let's say that you have an idea, execute it. The worst thing that could happen is if that goes wrong.
Yeah, so go and do that, right?
Go and learn.
And try.
Yep.
And try. And fail. It's important, to fail. It's really important because this is how you learn what is good and what is not. And in case the television or in case the movies, even in the
digital strategy or digital content, the what you say and how you say that is important.
Yep. Everything is important.
It's important. Even if you're gonna make a video, you have to go to the script and put in what I want to say.
Yep.
What I want to say to the story, right?
There's a lot of videos going on, and I think that we need to cut it short right now.
It's a billions video.
There is a ton of videos, especially on LinkedIn right now. You see people just taking a video,
It's a trash.
driving and things like that, and like a lot of content. And there is one person that says that he put out 400 pieces of content every day. I think that that's too much. But every piece that you do, make sure that it's got a purpose. So if you have 400 pieces of content, at least one of those is not going to have any purpose or it is going to provide any value. I would rather put 2 or 3 a day, but they're valuable. They're providing something good for the user.
I can stay here for a long time to explain, but what happened is the conclusion, guys. I hope so. What happened with the YouTubers, for example? The YouTubers sometimes only take the camera and make garbage videos sometimes, but it's 1,000 the followers. Why is that? Because I don't think the YouTuber person think in a strategy for putting videos. Only put on the camera and start making videos. What is the difference for a company? Because sometimes the company wants to do that, right?
Yep. So it's a little bit different. So I was reading an article from an influencer, I believe. I can't even remember.
Influencer, this is
Amy or something like that. That she has hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and Twitter. She couldn't even sell 36 shirts.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So that is to prove you that vanity metrics like likes,
this change right now.
It's ridiculous. There is, I look at a keynote where they actually mention that likes are so cheap right now that probably about 10,000 likes may equal one email address.
Really?
So when you think about it, you can get a ton of followers, but what type of results are you seeing?
Yeah, it's different.
Forgive me for saying this, but a lot of influencers out there, they're not being really good at providing good content. They're just showing up naked.
Yeah, influencers is really...
So in your case of YouTube, that they have a lot of followers, I don't watch many of those that do crappy videos, but I do watch like groups like Pamplemousse that they do really cool, fun music experiments.
Okay.
Something that is unique, and those are scripted and highly produced videos.
Okay. Yeah. So, guys, owners, don't go try the influencer thing because it's a garbage video. So, well, even you can try. Maybe it's work.
The good influencer.
You never know, right?
Yeah, but a good influencer is not gonna take a crappy product.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So I think is finished for today.
Yep.
It's a pleasure. So I see you next week.
Next Tuesday at 11. We're gonna have 10 episodes of this radio show. This is the first one, so please forgive any mishap that could have happened.
Yeah, and everything is about the digital and
yes, we'll be
television.
We'll
maybe
be bringing some guests, and also if you want to be one of our guests, just let us know.
And remember, it's the gene in us. Because everybody's the gene, right?
Yeah.
And it's in us.
Yeah.
It's a good. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your time. And okay, let's
see you next week.
Goodbye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
When Unilatina International College with campus in Miramar, Florida, is a boutique college with an applied, cutting-edge holistic education model. Business, tourism, and communication students not only develop their field intellectual skills, but are also empowered to become holistic professionals and human beings through yoga, self-empowerment, holistic human development courses, and more. Sign up to become a holistic professional at unilatina.edu or call 954-607-4344.